girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done.
All right, good morning. Welcome. Cafecito con leche. Café cubano. Buenos días. Piff's birthday? Is it? Maybe. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Barefoot Selling Adventures. Appreciate that, bro. Nvidia play was fire. Yeah, Nvidia was a sick trade yesterday. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I did not expect it to be as good as it was, the Nvidia trade from yesterday. Actually, exceeded my expectations. So very happy about that one. Morning, everyone. Margin, as always. Ponzi, Dino, Pat, Golf Nut, Chef Joe. What's up, Chef? Abel, Steven, Hamster, CJ, Bruce. Who else we got here? AKA the closer. Miles. Ponzi. Yeah, Ponzi. 19,380. 19,380. Hey, I'm not gonna talk much about it, right? It is what it is. We know what it is. Cheers. Ooh, no sugar in that one today. AKA the closer, appreciate that, brother. Thank you for the $10 donation. Thank you for that. Hopefully that comes from trading profits, from education that you have learned from the group, from the chat, or from the live stream. So appreciate that. All right. Well, we definitely have a interesting calendar on our hands today. We definitely have some big earnings. I'm going to go ahead and pull those up real quick. We got earnings. We got the economic calendar. Vodka shots. Not yet, man. I told you guys, whenever my first $100,000 trade is, we'll take a shot of that vodka. Or a shot of that tequila right behind me. Right here. This is actually worth a lot of money now, if anyone was not aware. I had no idea. But the price gone up, which is pretty crazy. $100,000 trade. We'll take a shot of this live. Chef, 19,380. Yeah, pretty nice. Congrats if you guys trusted the levels. Congrats if you did not have a bias. Hey, I'm in long positions right now. So, there's been, there was opportunities to both sides yesterday. That was key, right? Come into the day, look for opportunities to both sides. There was a very nice short off the 19,380 supply that we talked about. There were some nice longs off the downside demand. So just a great channel trade. Nothing out of the ordinary. If you just trusted the levels, you had a good day, right? That's all. That's all yesterday was. And that's all every day is. You just stay unbiased. You stay calm-headed. You watch the levels. You trade off them on the intraday. You walk away. You enjoy your day. That's it. Do it over and over again. Stop trying to guess what's going to happen over the next 6 months. Just watch the levels on the intraday. Make your money, get the hell out, and enjoy the rest of your day. So that's what we're gonna do that's what we're gonna do again today. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Let's get started. So here we go. First things first, most important thing of the day, earnings calendar is definitely the most important today, and that is right here. AMD, Microsoft, big. Big for semiconductors, AMD, which has been a weak POS. Let's see what happens for it today. This is going to be very important for the semiconductor sector. Nvidia, TSM, MU, Qualcomm, SMCI, ARM, all the semiconductors, Intel, right? We got to see what happens on this AMD earnings. So keep an eye on that. The next one is Microsoft. This is just big for the entire tech market. Microsoft's a monster stock, I think number 2 in terms of weight. And so this is going to be monstrous, right? Microsoft, a monstrous stock for the stock market. Definitely going to move the NASDAQ, move the S&P, move the market post-earnings. So just be aware of that. That is going to be a big name tonight that if you're holding swing trades, they will be affected from Microsoft earnings. Starbucks, Pinterest, not really interested. First Solar, not really interested. EA, if you're really interested in EA, maybe. Up to you. Okay, so that's today. Tomorrow, Meta, ARM, Qualcomm, more semiconductors, more tech. And then on Thursday, Amazon, Apple, Intel, Coinbase, some big ones there as well. So some big names, but today we're going to just focus on this, AMD, Microsoft. That's today's earnings, all right? Over here, we have the economic calendar. We have today, Tuesday, 9 o'clock. I don't think this is too important. Home price index, maybe. But I don't think it'll be too important. I think the 10 o'clock JOLTS is probably your more important economic data of the day. So right here, consumer confidence and that JOLTS data right there. I think those are two more important. So we'll just keep an eye on that 10 o'clock time frame. All right. Tomorrow, FOMC, be aware of that. And that's that. Let's jump into the levels. Let's do it. NASDAQ. Well, I don't have much to say. We basically just traded we went from our demand lows of the day to our supply highs of the day, back to our demand lows, and that was pretty much the whole day. The rest of the day was just chop fest, right? Then you had your little downside break, right? Break and retest of that demand. This was actually quite beautiful. You can see right here. We had our downside demand, our 380 supply, right? And look at how we just traded off these levels. Pulled back, held it, little consolidation. Look at this right here. Break and retest. Beautiful. Support into rejections, causing downside, right? This was where you caught the downside trade yesterday. You had the opening low. You had the demand at 230, turning into rejections right here, right? And so there was opportunities to play both the supply rejection here. There was opportunities to play the demand bounces off these lows. There was the opportunity to trade the break and retest short, right? There was an opportunity to trade the reclaim over 230, which was right here, right? Look at how beautiful that was. Reclaim over 230. So if you just focused, right, on these levels on the intraday and paid attention to nothing else without any bias, there was some very nice action yesterday. But, you know, you had to make sure you were locked in on those levels. So today, we're going to do the same thing. 15-minute chart. Let's look to see if we can find some strong buying off this 230 level, right? Let's look to see if we can find some strong buying off this 230 level, possibly for some short-term scalps to the upside off 230. We're also going to watch. Hold on, let me turn these candles into this. Here we go. Okay. We're going to watch the upside supply at 19,380, right? 19,380, 19,380, 19,380. We need to get above that 19,380 to get the upside continuation today, right? That is going to be what we need to get real upside continuation. We said the same thing yesterday, and you can see once again, bam. It's not rocket science. It's just playing probabilities. It's just trading what the market has shown us previously. Before yesterday, we had rejections and rejections at this level. So you come into the day and you expect the rejection again. If you did, bam, beautiful trade. If you couldn't accept that and you tried to long for a breakout, bam, right in your face. So what are we going to do again? We're just going to trust the level again. If we start to trade up to this level and we start to see some weakness step in, right, we're going to look to see if that fades again. If it does break above it, then we know that that's where we're going to look to long the market, right? And you can actually see right here on the 5-minute chart, you can actually go, yeah, we'll stay on the 5-minute, right? You started to see how that selling sort of came in at that level. Big wick rejection, got back into it, big wick rejection. Nice flush candle up, you know, breaking that sort of trend higher, and that was your downside continuation. So very nice. We look for the same thing today, right? Let's look for the same exact thing today. If we start trading higher today, we start to fade higher. We're starting to get this push, right? Oh my God, market's going higher. We're about to break out. And then you start to see this weakness come in again, right? We're going to look for the same thing. And if you guys are part of the Discord yesterday, I think it was a fantastic live education because there was absolutely no doubt about it. There was absolutely the feeling of this market is about to break out, right? No doubt. I felt it myself. I understood it, right? I could understand why people felt the way they did. We were just sort of walking through the emotions of the move yesterday live on the voice chat, and I totally get it, right? This looked very strong, right? The way this was trading higher looked very strong to me. It was sort of pushing higher, pulling back, reclaiming, right? It looked like it was ready to do one of these sort of squeezing breakout moves, no doubt. But you can't trade off that, right? The key takeaway from our lesson yesterday was you can't trade off that, right? It doesn't matter how you feel the move is. It does not matter what your emotions are putting into your mind when that's happening, right? Just you got to think about whatever you're thinking as this market trades into this supply level is so irrelevant, right? Everything that your mind is telling you is 100% irrelevant unless you actually break it, you actually hold it, and you continue over it, right? Unless you actually visually see that with your own eyes, whatever your mind is telling you right here as it pushes higher is irrelevant. It's total BS. It means nothing, right? Because I could tell you 100% that I still get those thoughts, but I know how to suppress them, right? I've learned how to try to suppress those thoughts and not take action on those thoughts because there's no doubt, guys, I'm still human, right? I'm still sitting here like, holy shit, this looks like it might break out, right? Trust me. I think the same way. I'm not some kind of robot. But if you guys are part of the voice chat, you heard me say, I just can't trade off that, right? I can't trade off an idea like that. That doesn't make sense. You can't trade off these emotions that come into your mind at these sort of on these pushes higher. You actually need to witness it break and hold above to get confirmation. That never happened yesterday. So if you long there yesterday, I'll say to you, you have a long way to go. You have to sort of change your mindset, and you need to trade according to the levels and not the devil that's talking to you inside your mind. Okay? So that was our yesterday's analysis from the live stream. We said come back today and look to see what happens off 19,380. Well, you can see exactly what happened there. So today we're going to look for the same thing. 19,380, let's see, does it fade? Do we break above it? Do we get a legitimate break and hold above? If so, we get more upside. If not, we reject again. We trade back down to the 230. We trade back down to the 100 SMA. We trade back down to the 19,000. All right, let's move on. You can't fix the stupid thought, man. I think through it. I just said, if you listen to what I said, I think about it myself. It's about whether you can control yourself to act upon that stupid thought, right? Everyone gets the same thoughts at these levels. They say, oh, this might break out, or, oh, man, this looks like it could go higher. You can't trade off the thoughts, okay? That's the difference. Some people trade off those thoughts. They just start clicking the call button, right? They're sitting here. Oh, here we go, calls, bam, and no thinking through the process, right? And then bam, straight back down, you lose and you quit trading, right? You got to think through the trade and control yourself at these levels, right? That's the key. Can you control your thoughts? Can you control your mind? That's really the game, right? So today, same thing, 468, exact same level we talked about yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 468, perfect supply. We talked about it in the live stream yesterday. Bam. Beautiful downside, right into our demand, 461, beautiful hold. And that's about it, guys. That's all we did yesterday. Okay? We basically just traded from supply highs to demand lows. And that's it, right? And that's what we did here, right? That's what we did here. We went a little further on this one. That's what we did here, right? That's what we did yesterday. And that's what we'll continue to look for, right? Let's look for the fades off 468 back down into 461. If we break over 468, then we're going higher into 474, okay? But that's only if we hold over 468. That's it, right? That's only if we hold over 468. So if we get that hold over 468, keep an eye because that could be a very interesting long opportunity. S&P 500 futures, very clear supply yesterday at our 55.35. Nice rejections. So let's continue to watch that supply high above there. Right down here, 54.80. You can see here, 54.80, 54.80. Very nice. And that's pretty much your channel. There's a little intermediary level here around 55.09, which you can watch. I think this is more important of a channel. You can see right here between 55.34 and 35 and 54.80. Right? You can see holds, rejections. So this is really just the channel you're trading in for now. If you can get over 55.40 and hold above it, I think you get upside. If you push higher into this again and reject, look for that fade. Very possible. If you drop lower into this 54.80, be careful of that demand holding. It held here. Right? Multiple holds at 54.80. All right? So that's that, right? Very easy. 54.80 to 55.35, 55.40. Play the levels. There's a little intermediary level here, like I said, around that 55.07, 55.09. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it at 55.07 today, which is right at that, it's right at that 50 SMA. So I'm just going to sort of monitor how does that 50 SMA trade today. Do we hold above it? Or do we reject under it? That's going to be key today, right? Right there. That 50 SMA. All right? SPY, very nice. Daily 50 yesterday. Very strong hold again. You can see the hold here, holds here, holds here. We talked about these holds yesterday. Daily 50, 543. Very nice demand holds. Supply highs right at the 548. That's it. Today is nothing but a channel trade on everything. So, SPY, 548, 543. That's number one. ES, 55.35, 55.40, down to the 54.80. Okay, very nice. QQQ, very clear. 468 to 461. Extremely clear channel. NASDAQ, 19,380, down to, I'd say, I'd say 19,000, either 19,000 or possibly you put that channel low at that 100 SMA, which is right around that 19,060, right? Both of them are going to be pretty tough levels for the NASDAQ to break below. We can see here at 19,060, 19,060, 60, and 60 yesterday. Definitely some strongholds down there in this entire zone down here. So today is all about those channels. And guys, if we do get a break over these highs, be ready for the squeezer, right? Be ready for the squeezer, right? That's all I'll say. I truly believe that you will get the squeezer if you can get over these highs, right? We've talked about this. This was straight down. I would bet right, if I didn't have to put a time frame on it, which is what's the ultimate, sort of the ultimate makes it the easiest bet, is that I would guarantee you that at some point we will squeeze from 468 to 474. I don't know the time frame, but I can guarantee you that at some point, right, and it could be we could go lower before that happens, right? So make sure you know that. But at some point, we are going to have to trade back through this sort of straight down action. We're going to have to see, we're going to have to trade back through this area at some point, right, because of the way this moved lower. So I'm very interested. I will continue to stay interested in the potential for a break and hold over 468. If we get that, right, then this could be a fantastic upside move, right? Definitely something I'd be watching. Okay. All right, let's go to the IWM real quick. You guys can see yesterday we failed that supply high that we were talking about. We broke under that 224, which was one of our key levels, caused the downside move. If we go to the 5-minute chart, you guys can see. Actually, no, we'll just go to the 1-minute chart. You can see how we gave up that 224 demand, right here. 224 demand. We tried to hold it. We failed under it. Straight flush after failing that level. Look at this on the 1-minute chart. A straight flush. What a 1-minute chart that is. Straight down after that flush under 224. Very nice. So we had the 224. We failed it. We went to 222. We lost 222. We turned it into rejections. We moved down into this 220.3 level. You can see right here, 220.3, 220.3, 220.3. So today I'd be watching a few levels. This has to be turned red. 1 second. So we got 220.3, which is this downside demand here, and yesterday here. We have our 222, which was a very established level. Keep an eye on that 222 today. If we hold over 222, we'll push back higher into the 224, which you need to be careful of rejections, or you can look for that break and hold above. Okay? All right. Let's go to Tesla stocks. Press that like button. 1,400 people, 600 likes. Damn, the live stream's dying. We're getting less and less people here. Sad day. Maybe I'm just turning people off. No, I'm just kidding. That's all right. Espresso break. Tesla. So, I'm not going to lie. I'm very interested in Tesla going higher. Here's a few reasons why. Number one, weekly chart. Here's your weekly chart. You know what? You're right. It is ad time. Weekly chart. 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5, 6. 6 tests, right, of that downtrending channel. Break and potential retest hold of that downtrending channel right here. That is very important, right? Very important. So that's number one. That's very interesting. Next. One second. Next. 4-hour chart. All right, let's clean up these levels real quick. Next, 4-hour chart. This is a very interesting retest back down to around this 206, 208 area, right? Back down into this previous support, right? We had that squeeze above. We have pulled back and we have held it. That's a very interesting retest there, right? So go back to this, right? You can see right here that 200 SMA, that 50 SMA, these previous highs, these previous lows, we have pulled back to that, and we have held that very aggressively. Very nice, right? Very nice. Now, even on the shorter term, now let's drop this down into the shorter term. We had that hold, right, at 215. We had previous highs here at 226. And yesterday, we had a break and hold of 226. That is huge, right? Right here yesterday, we had a break and retest of that 226 level intraday. You had a very clean hold of that 226. And that right there was what made me interested in the long opportunity. This would be a break and retest of 226. That was that gap fill level that we talked about. And if we're holding above 226, I think Tesla is ready for continuation through this gap fill. For now, it's holding above that 230, which I want to see it maintain. So I want to see 226, 230 maintain right here, right here. If we can get above this 234 today, which we are right now, if we can hold above it, that would be very key for me, right? 234, 234, little double top from yesterday. If we can turn this 234 into support, that would be huge. Holding above 234 on Tesla today, I think drives it higher. That would be awesome. And I think that would potentially bring us back to maybe the gap fill, right? If we go to the daily chart, we can see gap fill is up into that 245. Or I would possibly look for this to trade into like this daily 20 SMA around 242. So that's what I'm looking for. I think this is very interesting if we can hold over 234 today. I love the holds over 230 right here, and I love the retest hold over 226. Beautiful little chart here, beautiful structure. Definitely looking to see what happens here over the next few days. Nvidia, man, has this thing been weak, right? Look at this 4-hour structure lower. It's just really, really weak, right? You can see, look at the structuring move lower, just staying so, so down. Previous lows turning into rejections at 116.50. And again, yesterday, we did the exact same thing, right? We faded the exact same level right here. Bam, 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 right? Like a slap on the ass 3 times in a row. 116.50, 116.50, 116.50. We had a pop into that level yesterday. We started to spot the weakness stepping in on both the NASDAQ market and Nvidia itself, right? At the same, when Nvidia went to 116.50 yesterday, where was the NASDAQ? The NASDAQ was at 19,380, right? So I lined up this trade with the NASDAQ 19,380 supply that we were very confident in, and the Nvidia 116.50 supply. So I had supply on NQ, right? Good. And I had supply on Nvidia, right? Which gave me the confidence to take the trade, right? So we had both those supplies lining up perfectly. Bam, bam, bam. We shorted it. What a trade. Very weak, stayed weak into close. 111.50 is a must hold for Nvidia today, guys. If we lose this 111.50, I think you are probably going to be looking at a trade lower into this 106.50 again, right? Look at this 4-hour chart. This is really not pretty on Nvidia. So if we lose under 111.50, I think you move back to 106.50. If you break that, you could possibly be trading back to our target, that 97 level. So we got to hold 111.50 here. Of course, AMD is going to be massive. So it's going to be massive, right? It's going to be massive. AMD is going to be important for what happens here on Nvidia. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to trust that Nvidia continues because of AMD. But, hey, something to watch, right? 111.50, that area there, very important. Yeah, it's maybe more like 111.30. It's this whole zone here, man. It's like, yeah. You had these lows are like down at 111-ish, 111.10. It's not going to be perfect. In no way, shape, or form is it going to be absolutely perfect here. It's like a zone. But you have some tests at 111.50. You have some tests a little bit lower. You just need to see the very confident weakness underneath it to get confident, right? So keep an eye on that. That's going to be very, 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 very important. Okay, let's go to AMD real quick. It does report earnings today, so I don't have much for you. But, man, what an absolutely beautiful fade again. We talked about this 145 level. We talked about the pop and fade. Pop, fade, right at supply. Beautiful. If you traded off the levels, you crushed it. 145, 145. Yesterday, we had a pop. We had a fade. And we had a nice trade there. I didn't trade it, but a very nice opportunity. Again, today, I would be watching the same thing. 137.50 demand, 145 supply. It's just your channel. However, there's earnings, so I really don't have much for you. MU, yesterday, really nice fade of 111. That was one of our levels we were watching, 111. But it's really just not doing anything, right? You can see a little bit of a fade of 111, 111, 111, 111. Nice little fade there yesterday, but you're back near the demand lows, so is there a trade here? No, right? There's no trade here. You have to get back into 111. You got to drop into 105, or you would look to fade that 114 level next. So really no trade here on MU today, so I'm just going to go right past it. Also something that's going to be affected by AMD earnings. Microsoft reports earnings today. Yesterday, Microsoft, little fake out above that 429, 430 level. You can see right there that supply that stepped in. And I would assume Microsoft just sort of does nothing today, guys. I would not touch Microsoft with a 10-foot pole. It has earnings after hours. I would just maybe look to see if you can, maybe you can try to fade that 439 area today. I don't know why this is green. You can possibly look to fade this 430 area today. If any pop comes into it, that's maybe possible. But I'm assuming the IV is going to be relatively high on Microsoft, and you probably don't want to get too involved. So far today, and I'll tell you the honest truth, so far today, the most interesting stocks for me, number one is going to be this Tesla, 234, 230 area, and then Nvidia at the 111.50. That's really the most interesting so far that I've seen. Meta, really no trade on Meta. Just stuck in the middle of nowhere, which is very resemblant with everything else going on right now. But 460 is really your level to watch. 460, this is going to have to be something to watch right here. Let's see if maybe we can find a long off 460. That's something I'd be monitoring. Either a long off 460 or a long off 450. And then the short, I would need to be short up at the 480, right? If we pop into 480, that's where I'd want to be short. Okay. Let's go to, guys, PayPal does not, it's just because it's up on earnings doesn't mean it looks good, right? It's just a squeeze on earnings. What happens every other time this thing squeezes? Squeeze, bam, squeeze, bam, squeeze, bam, squeeze, bam, squeeze, bam. So, I mean, this doesn't look good, right? It's just straight up on earnings. I'm not going to trade a stock when I zoom out on the 4 hour. If it looks like this, I'm not trading. I mean, why involve yourself in this? There's so much uncertainty on a daily basis. Why not trade something that has some very clear price action? Something like Apple, right? Something like Apple that's very consistent here. Take a look at this. So we can have a nice little fade off 220 today, right? Very nice. Let's see if maybe we can fade off 220. Keep an eye on that. If we break over 220, then we can possibly look for a long to 223, right? So very nice, right? You can actually trade off these levels. Very clear. 220, 223, right? Down at the 215 demand. We can very clearly see how this thing has been trading. So today, look to see if maybe you can fade 220. If you can get a drop below that. If you get above 220 today, I would say look to see if you can long it into 223. And then if you pull back into that 215 today, you can possibly look for that potential demand long off 215. Right? So that's what I'd look for on Apple. ARM, very nice yesterday off that 150 level, right? We can see right here the head and shoulder has broke. We had the neckline. We had right here. This was our neckline on the head and shoulder. We had the left shoulder. We had the head. And we had the right shoulder right here. Very nice. And look at that neckline break yesterday under 150. Flush right under that level. So that's very interesting, right? ARM, except it reports earnings on Wednesday, tomorrow after hours, so that's tough. But what I would look for is a pop and fade on ARM at 150. That's really the only trade I'd look for here. I'd want to pop and fade at 150 on ARM. If I don't get the pop, I'm going to be very cautious shorting this thing into the 100 SMA and shorting it into the 132 demand. So that's sort of a tough trade. I would like to get a little popper and a little fade today. Let's see if we can get something like that today on ARM, up into that 150 level. What else? I don't really like anything on Amazon. It's been a dead trade. Google's been a dead trade. These stocks are not moving right now, so I'm really not even interested. SCRV, guys, is this stock that we talked about a few weeks back. I never really thought much of it, but obviously this thing's been squeezing. If you're interested in chasing some penny stocks, I think this is something that could continue because of the actual reason why it's going higher. They signed a little contract with Nvidia, so I don't know. Maybe it continues higher, but just figured I'd let you guys know about it. That was a very nice break and retest right there, right? That was really the entry point at 13. Take a look at that. Previous highs into demand. That's sexy right there. So at this point, it's sort of a chase long, but you can maybe watch this 19 level. You can maybe watch this right here on that 17 level. You can see if there's some break and retest longs. Not something I'm going to get involved with, but I just wanted to keep you guys involved with some of that information, some of those things that are moving over there. Yeah, I would say let's take a look at SMCI. SMCI at the 690. Let's keep an eye here, 690. That is going to be our major level today. If we break under 690, guys, I think you have a little bit of a flush action, maybe back towards that weekly low at 671. So let's keep an eye on 690 today on SMCI. Under 690, we can look for that fade into 671. NGG, I just hope you know that the more you post that, the less likelihood I'm going to look at it. So now I'm not. Okay, so good luck. We're not going to look at Nike today. There we go. All right. 690, you guys can see right there. Very nice. If we break under 690 and we reject, I would look for the downside on SMCI today. Just be careful of 671 below. Netflix, yeah, Netflix, we had a nice little trade on Netflix yesterday under that 630, but it's just not following through yet. So we're going to need some NASDAQ weakness to really get a follow through here. But yesterday we did have a little bit of a short under 630. You can see right here. 630. 630, a little bit of a rejection under that 630 yesterday, which was very nice, but really just no continuation here, right? So we're going to need some real NASDAQ weakness to get this Netflix breakdown. But yeah, I'd be watching that 630 level for sure. Man, I mean, just sort of, yeah, pretty light today. I mean, I really don't like a lot of stocks. Apple 220, right? Apple 220. Meta 460 demand. I'd watch that. Okay. SMCI, definitely watch that 690 today. Tesla, let's keep an eye on that 234, 230 area. Nvidia, yeah, let's definitely watch this, right? This is definitely one of our top watches. Let's keep an eye very closely on what's happening here on Nvidia. It looks like it's starting to show me a little rejection at 112. All right. It seems like it's almost starting to show me that it wants to fail the 112 level. All right, look at that. Which is very interesting because then what we can do here is we can actually look to trade shorts off 112, right? Look at this. 112, 112, 112, 112, 112, 112, 112. Very interesting, actually. All right, and see how this is sort of, we're sort of adjusting to what the price action is showing us. This actually looks like it could be a very clear fade of 112 here, right? Previous lows into new highs right here. So yeah, I would definitely let's keep an eye on that 112 level there on Nvidia today. That could be something to adjust to, especially when you look at this on the 15-minute chart. It looks like the bodies of the candles are more at like that 112 level, right? If we don't include those wicks, you can see that 112, the bodies around that 112. So, yeah, I like that. I'm definitely going to watch that today. CrowdStrike, yeah, another huge downside move under that 260 level failed again, huh? That thing's just still going. We're at the 240. 240 is the big spot there. Hold on, whoops. That's not what I want. Let me delete this for a second. Let me zoom. I got to zoom out here. We got to see what's going on here at the 240. Yeah, 240 is monstrous. Look at this. On the daily chart, look how big this 240 is. So I'd be aware of 240 on CrowdStrike. You can see right here, 240, 240, 240. You're coming back into 240. So, yeah, I don't know if I'd be looking to short CrowdStrike near this 240, guys. I would definitely not be looking to enter short positions after this drop into the 240 demand. That's for sure. If we go out to the hourly chart, you're going to want these pops, right? That's where you're going to look to short this stock. So I'd say pops into like this 275. Maybe a pop back towards this 265, 264, right back into here, this 263 area. Or honestly, the best short's probably right here around 290, right? If you can get a pop and a fade back at that 290, that's probably your best short. But I would not be continuing to look short into these daily demands. Here's one at 240. Be careful there. Cava. Yeah, Cava's just sort of been quiet. You can actually see, look at what it's doing. It's holding under some key levels here that we have. So we had 84. Yeah, look at that. So it's holding under 84 right now. See right here? 84, very nice. It sort of stair-step. It went from stair-stepping higher to stair-stepping lower. You can see how that started to occur after that rejection of those highs, right? We were stair-stepping higher, 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 right? Stair-step, stair-step, stair-step. It turned into stair-step, 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 right? So you can see how that sort of flipped. That action has flipped. We talked about this on the market, back in early July about that NASDAQ flip. You can see Cava definitely did the same. So Cava, yeah, 84. That's key. 84, and now 100 SMA demand at 76 again, right here. 76.50. Okay. Intel, I mean, it's just a total pop and fade. It's totally nothing. I mean, it's you just totally don't even look at this. This is why these stocks are just, when you guys tell me to go look at a firm, you go tell me to look at, whatever the hell you post in the chat, and it's not like an actual stock. I mean, Intel's the same thing, right? This is what happens. This right here, guys. And this is why, you may think I'm an asshole for talking shit about these stocks, but I'm telling you from experience, right? This is what happens on these stocks, right? I'm not interested in this, okay? I am not interested in this. I don't care how much Intel's going up in the short term, how much, Wish is going up in the short term, a firm's going up in the short term. I don't care how much this small cap, sort of nonsense stock is going up in the short term, because I know it's just going to do this, and I just don't like trading that. So this is why I don't talk about these stocks on this stream, guys. This is why I stick to the large cap tech stocks that have real price action, that have actual volume, that have liquidity, that we can actually trade on a daily basis and stay consistent with. I would really advise you stop looking at stocks like this. This is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. All right. Let's go to the NASDAQ real quick. Take a quick peek at what's going on. Really not much going on today, guys. Right? You can tell by the live stream. There's really not much to look at. There's really not much to look at on the whole market right now. The market is awaiting a lot of things, and I would make sure you trade accordingly. We talked about this in the group yesterday. We have to trade according to what the market is showing, right? We have to trade according to what the market is showing. And right now, the market's just it's showing us to not really be aggressive, right? The market's telling us, hey, take a step back, right? No need to get too crazy right now. We're definitely in this channel. The market's awaiting a catalyst. We've been trading in this range for now almost 3-4 days, right? And let's make sure we follow what the market is showing us, right? Big homie Craig, I just said I'm not looking at the stock. And then we have ASTS. What's ASTS? Is that Space Mobile? $18 stock. I have no idea, man. Is it a legit company? Possibly. I mean, it's been going straight up. So great and pretty nice. This is just not really why we're not here to talk about these ones. Again, what I was talking about is, hey, markets remaining relatively sideways. Let's make sure we follow that type of trend, right? We're not needing to get crazy aggressive in this type of price action on the market. ES, same thing, right? We can very clearly see that sideways channel. SPY, same thing. We can see that sort of sideways action that's been sort of plaguing this market over the last few days. Let's get outside of this channel. If we get outside of this channel, then we fire up the jets, right? Once we get outside of this channel, let's fire up the jets. Let's fire up the size. Let's start getting the action. I'm just obsessed with Nvidia. I mean, I'd be pretty obsessed with it too if I made $60,000 on it. Goodbye. See you later, big homie Craig. Good riddance. So 548, right? 543, very nice. Keep an eye on that area. QQQ, 468, 461. You know why I'm obsessed with Nvidia? You know why I'm obsessed with these kind of stocks, guys? Believe it or not, it's because you can look for the same thing every single day. You can look for an actual strategy. You can align them with the actual overall market levels, and you can repeat a process every day on Nvidia, every day on Tesla, every day on Apple. You can repeat a process that can make you money consistently, right? And that, until we're mature enough to understand that, it's probably going to be a tough time. But this is what you want to, this is what you want to try to develop, right? A consistent strategy that you can repeat on a daily basis, and you need consistent stocks to be able to do that, right? You need consistency, you need key levels, you need things that stay liquid, you need real volume at levels, right, guys? Volume, the reason why these levels on the NASDAQ futures and on the overall market and on the largely traded things, the reason why the levels are so trustworthy is because there's a lot of volume here, right? When you go to a stock like, let's say, I don't know, let me try to think through a stock. I don't know, what's a really lowly traded stock? Let's go to Tilray, right? When we go to a stock like Tilray, there's not a lot of volume at these levels. There's not volume in this stock at all, right? So it's very hard to trust what's going to happen at certain levels when the volume is light, right? Because you can have one, large order that just sort of pushes it right through, and you're like, what the hell? Why didn't respect that at all? It's because it's being sort of manipulated in a way. You can't really manipulate a stock like Nvidia, right? You can't manipulate a stock like Tesla without, billions and trillions of dollars. So it's just, again, to reiterate this, that's why I focus on these large caps tech stocks, because it's much more consistent, and that's what I would recommend, okay? All right, guys, that's about all I got today. Very key levels, 19,380, 19,060, 100 SMA below, QQQ, 468, 461, SPY, 548, 543, and the ES, 5540 to 5480, all right? All right, guys. AMC, hell yeah, chef. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Really not much out there today, guys. I'm going to be honest, right? I don't even feel like there's much going on out there. So let's be careful today. We got Microsoft and AMD earnings after hours. I think a whole hell of a lot of things, I think a lot more heats up after this. I think we get a lot more things heating up maybe later this week after FOMC. So I think there's nothing wrong with sort of taking it easy again today. If you find something off one of our key, ES or NASDAQ levels, maybe there's something to take a scalp off of. But, yeah, just be careful with the sideways action, guys. Be careful with the sideways action. It's just not been ideal. So press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.